Hello, 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 hello. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I am doing more of this silly processing. Oh, wait, you know what? I forgot to do that. Screw it. I'll just use my phone to view the chat. Sometimes it doesn't work, but it's going to have to work this time. Give me 1 second. You know what? I should move it to the right. I'll do that later. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing well. I'm just here playing with new sounds and apparently messing up my my formatting. There you go, right there. Actually, screw it. We'll just do this because you only need to see it like this part, anyways. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing well. I'm just here playing with sounds and trying to get my woodwinds together because I already got the strings fully processed. The strings sound delicious. Like, hold on, let me see if I can play a little bit of it. I think that's actually missing a layer. Yeah, I didn't have another layer. So if I play slow with this layer, it becomes even more dramatic. Let's see. And if you really wanted to make it even more dramatic, you add some of that good old super reverb, as I call it. Oof. I'm playing the keyboard like across the room. Hold on. So I have it play like two different. First of all, it's a lot of reverb. Let me turn that down a little bit. So I have it play like two different variations. So I have it where it's like very slow, and then I have it where it's just kind of like this is good for just straightforward writing. So of course, slow has this kind of gradual bump. And then this one is a little bit more straightforward. Now, when I play fast, unfortunately, this violin cannot do it, but it can play very emotional. So I have to turn that one off every now. So I'm able to do, was it things like this right here? Oop, hold on. I'll show you that later. The flat dynamic. So we can kind of do things like that. And I'm trying to do the same thing with woodwinds. So, and if you combine it with the strings, and I got the oboes done as well. So that's where I'm going with all of this. I also got my hands on some old new sounds. I was trying to look for distorted reality from Spectrasonic, and I finally got it, so I can use that for very textural sounds. You know, like very Silent Hilly type things, PlayStation 1 type sounds. Because I came to realize after doing some research, I can't get this sound anywhere else. I have to like get it from like Spectrasonics. I appreciate it, Jess. Yeah. Trying to figure out, see, what's hard is I have a very specific taste on how I want things. Like I love the strings because I made them really dry. Like these are really dry, no reverb. Hold on. I forgot I have to click it every time. These like just straight dry. Even with the short notes is that dry. I didn't do all the articulations because that would take forever for the process, like the whole processing that I did for that. Like it will take completely forever. And this is just violins one. I got like a super section of this type of stuff. And what's happening is they're all individual solo string violins. So each of them are like different libraries of like solo strings. Like I had the concept already like planned out perfectly. I was looking for like the most dry solo strings. I remember participating with the Kirby display with your music. I'm not trying to win any competitions, but I will be doing. I'm trying to get this ready for a Void Termina type of remix I want to do. So I'm trying to really work hard on making this sound first. For the woodwinds, it's a little, it's a little difficult only because I love these woodwinds, but like in legato, they sound good. But as soon as I go to short notes, I don't need that extra room in the background. I haven't figured that out, how to like get rid of it. So yeah, hopefully I'll figure that out later. Right now, I'm just playing with stuff. Like example, I love these distorted reality drums. These are the type of things that you would hear in like old like video games, like very old school video games. Anyways, I was just playing with that because I also have some new instruments, and I'm like, ooh, I want to go through them because I love these type of sounds. Like I am a silent, I'm a Silent Hill head, so that's also part of my like fandom list. And I got so many of these sounds. You know what? I can actually turn that into a really dope like bass kick. Like, listen to this stuff. This is great. You said you've been trying to look for a drum loop silent. Um, Wait, was it this one, or is it something that you're trying to look for that's an old school? Because let me show you something. Like that way you can just understand what the sounds kind of sound like in the drums. You might have heard of some of these drums in like certain things, like cartoons and video games. I'm sure everybody heard this one. Come on, man. I've heard this drum sequence in Akino Ari music. Like if you look at the ending of Outlaw Star, the anime, she usually has like sounds like this in her music. So I was very adamant to try to find like these sounds. I've heard this one before as well. I've heard somebody like, boy, the name is so long. I went past it. But yeah, pretty much. I heard this sample before when I was playing the video game Shadow Hearts. There was the final boss. Was it the third karmas or something like that? The three karmas, and they would sample something like this. So I know where that's. That's the whole point of me getting all of this. I was like, man, it's gonna hit like back in the old days. Come on, man, listen to this. I can sample the hell out of that. And there's so many of them. So yeah, I'm gonna be having a blast with this. If you're wondering what this is Distorted Realities from Spectrasonics. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in here. And I like the grimy, gorgly type stuff. Whoa. Hold on, I like that. Oh, I just messed up. I was supposed to put it right there. Come on. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be playing with this for like future projects. I just got to figure out how to implement it like into my music. But it's definitely going straight in there. This and I just got another thing called Cuckoo Lands. Let's see. Cuckoo Lands is a very more disturbing type of like library. I haven't got all of them. There's more, but very Silent Hill-y, like especially this one. I can see how this can be used for like a Silent Hill project, actually. Like if you take it and let's say, is this pitched? But yeah, you can see where this can be used. This is like very straight on the nose Silent Hill type stuff, which I like. So, because I've been meaning to like also get into a more like spookier vibe. Like there's a concept I want to do, and I'm trying to find very specific sounds to getting a vibe. See, I'm trying. I guess I could just kind of just spit this out to everybody. I want to make a Kirby 64 Crystal Shards type horror. Because I'm gonna be honest, the game when I was younger, it spooked the hell out of me. So I really want to make like almost like a album remix of the whole game, but more of a horror aspect, but still kind of keep the elements. And what made the game scary to me was like, it looks cute, but there's a lot of like disturbing elements that that just pops at like at random. And I know, video games are not going to go back like that because, I guess it got a bad rep with scaring the kids. And some kids actually was like, wow, that is what built my trauma for certain things. But at the same time is now I have a new profound love for intricate horror. So that's why I'm here. So I'm looking for certain sounds like this to kind of like I want to bring back that scary feeling that I got from Kirby 64. But since we're so adapted to, the world around us, like nothing is too scary anymore. If that makes sense, like we're so adapted to new fears and new concepts that I have to like kind of like really dig deep into like what's actually scary. Stuff like this. See, like this is interesting because your brain didn't really recognize like what was going on for a second, and it almost kind of felt like it was almost mumbly, like there's something unnaturally here. But the sound actually has a interesting element to repeat itself. And I always tell people repetition is actual hell. Like anything that repeats will drive a person mad. And so I like sounds like this. So some of these things are like beautiful though. It's kind of beautiful to me. That sounds like all right, I'm about to fight a like an ancient boss or something. Like if you ever play like old school video games where it's like this is like what was it? I think it was Shadow Hearts had some weird ass concept where they brought back Jesus and he was like this monstery type figure, alien thing. And it was like, oh my God, what the hell is that blasphemy type shit? And it was like some of the music would kind of like just start off like this. And you're just like, this is not cool. Like we're about to fight an ancient entity that was like foretold throughout the history or something. It's cool. It's a cool concept. I miss those kind of things. It really got you thinking. That's an interesting dark sound. Okay, I'll be here all day. Also, another element that I noticed back in the like early 2000s is they will take hip hop and kind of like speed it up. So stuff like this. All right, this isn't a good example for like PlayStation 2 like boss battles music sometimes, where like in Kingdom Hearts they do this a lot. Like they will kind of speed it up and put this in the background. And it would just be this extra texture with like war drums. And it would always sound great. Like if you add this with like some war drums or something. Especially if you filter it out. Like another thing that Yoko Shimomura would do, or whoever she was working with, is kind of take this down, try to find the resonant frequencies right there, bring down the highs. She would do something like that to kind of get this like resonance type percussion thing. And then what she will end up doing is like, I don't have what is it? The ones that she actually used was something called Storm Drum 2. I think she used Storm Drum 2 and 1, and those are the ones that she actually used in Kingdom Hearts. I'm sorry, I'm well versed into like studying all of this for like years because I think like the process on how she made her music and everything. And same with like Spyro music and other like PlayStation 1 and 2 music. Use Heavy O City, yeah. I'm just gonna throw this in as an example. All right, that sounds good right there in first sample. So they would do this kind of hybrid, especially with like orchestral, like hybrid battle music. Okay, so the first thing she would do is this. She would have that, right? Oh my God, messing up. And then we're just gonna take the kicks out. So we just have that texture. And then another thing that she would end up doing is give me 1 second. I'm trying to look for a kick. Just a regular ass kick. I don't think I'm gonna find a normal sample of a regular kick. Oh wait, I know where one is. It's gonna be where I thought I had it in this folder. I guess not. Unless this is in the way. Oh, here it is. Okay, we're just gonna find a kick. I'm just gonna use this. So what she would do is this. She'll put a kick. We're just gonna filter out the entire high end. Just like that. Kind of blend it. Thing she loved doing, and I noticed this when I was listening to her music all the time. And it's like very faint. This is all very faint stuff. Like you will never just hear it You have to like really like zone into it. All right, so now we got that, and then we bring our percussion, our like war drum percussion, and then you kind of get that kind of 𝐒𝐿𝐶𝐄𝐑𝐈𝐁𝐄 vibe. That's how you do it. That's how you actually get that PlayStation like 2 like battle music. It's literally just a was it like almost a house kick, sped up like old school 90s hip hop groove or maybe some house grooves. And then you just have your typical war drum type loops. And you put those three together, and then that's what you get. Kind of speed it up if you want to. And if you really want to like go about like something that you would do. I'm just gonna put this in just for the hell of it. No, Yoko Shimomura. That's definitely a famous song that she always does. And there you go. I'm just gonna throw that in there. Oh, almost forgot to turn on. Also, I'm just gonna layer it. Try to turn it up a little bit. Okay, just making sure. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Get rid of it. All right, now time to do the boring activity I really didn't feel like doing. Oh yeah, you know what? It's funny, Star, that the fact that I said that to another bigger musician that was bigger than me, the same thing. So it's always interesting looking at how other people make music because it's always different. Like I remember I went to one of the people that inspired me to make music to begin with, like one of their concerts, and it was so interesting how he made music. I was Pat Metheny. Dude is extremely old now, but his music is still, I don't know how he does it. It's uncanny to me actually. Like if you can go to a Pat Metheny concert and just literally look at him play, it's ridiculous. I never seen anybody play anything like that. Like the dude literally plays seven guitars at the same time somehow. I don't. It's hard to explain it. I was like, what the hell? How is this dude never recognized? But yeah, the dude's a legend. Oh, I accidentally clicked the button. I forgot to tell everybody. Something happened with my stream, like my Streamlabs. I'm not sure what happened. Everything kind of just rearranged itself, and so things might not be where it's supposed to be. So if I click something, I apologize. I mean, yeah. Well, when is what is old? Like I could go into complete philosophy, but I think people find that pretty interesting or pretty boring. I really have no idea. I have a lot of crazy thoughts that I need to make into all kinds of things. Wait a minute. No, that's an oboe. I had to make sure if it was an oboe or not. Yeah, I'm trying to use this library for sounds, and I have a very structured way how I do things. Like for the fast legato, it has to be at the E. Keep that there the same. Always bring this to this one. I think I just remembered there's something I need to fix. Nah, I already did that. Yeah, you guys might as well just kind of like sit back and relax. I usually just do these live streams just to show you what I'm doing. And sometimes I talk about it, and sometimes I'm just sitting here and just like, oh, okay. I have a lot of libraries. I think this is like a good example to show you like everything that I'm doing. If you're wondering what this is a Divisi. It's a Divisi process. Even though I don't really need this, but I try to get as close to realism as much as I can. All right, so we're in articulations. Trying to remember what I did here. So B1, B5. I'm not going to be streaming long at all. I'm just going to do a couple of instruments and I'm just going to go play some video games real quick. And probably just go eat dinner. And then usually I do this at 5 a.m. in the morning, like late at night. Like I'll do the entire project, but who's going to be up at 5 a.m. for a stream? Except for Australians, because apparently I live on Australian time, even though I live in North America. There's another thing I'm forgetting. I got to do this. So I like to keep things in variations. Oh, wait, I can show you exactly what I mean before I do it. So this is a thing I usually do that I don't hear people do at all. Even professionals don't do it. Hold on. So it sounds good, right? But in real life, you know, like a woodwind player or a string player even doesn't even play that perfect all the time. So I have to use this round robin script I found online. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna read everybody's comments in a second. I'm just trying to put this together. All right, now if I put on variation 7, you're gonna hear a difference. So now it's not as static as it was. This is before and after. Is that level of detail that makes it feel like live. That way it doesn't sound like it's not real. Even though it's kind of sort of real, it's very virtual instruments is very uncanny because it's like this is a real player playing these sounds, but they made it where each sound is like one sample. So somebody played that and then somebody played this, but nobody's playing this as I play it. So that's what makes it a virtual instrument. It's crazy. So if you want to technically think about how this would work in the real world, it's like if someone were to donate their artwork to an AI, but actually get paid for doing it. And then every time we buy this, they also get a part of that royalty. That's how virtual instruments work. So I don't understand why we can't do that with AI. Instead of just stealing people's stuff and then reselling it and then not giving them any type of royalty, which is the biggest controversy of like the century right now. I was like, I don't know, we can ask them, hey, do you want to donate to the AI? And then you get money and we get money and we all get money. And then you can kind of choose and pick what kind of style you would like to give the AI that. But I don't know. None of this is the whole AI thing doesn't really make sense to me because it's like, if you're trying to do like a smarter version of the same process right here, but with art and music, why not just do the same thing that we did with this? Pay the people. No, no. There's just my personal thoughts about AI right now. I usually play with AIs and stuff, controversial stuff, only because in order to know your enemy, you gotta, mess around with it. Because I always tell people, I was like, AI will replace me one day. But it'll either make my life easier or it will replace me. But even then, that would only make, what is it, live performances and like if you were to say, hey, art is getting replaced, whatever, because you have to remember, AI is still in its beginning stages and it looks really good, but it's not good enough. And I always explain to people, I was like, yeah, it's not good enough, but one day it will be because it doesn't stop progressing. I was like, unlike an artist, we have everyday life to, stop. We have to do other things and maneuver and do all this extra stuff. I was like, the AI is literally learning every day and is getting better every day. And inadvertently in 5 years, first of all, within 5 years from 2020, look how much happened. Like 2020, this AI looked like it was a mashed potato and it was supposed to be like a Da Vinci like piece of art or something. But and then 5 years later, now it's getting like to a specific point of uncanny valley that some average consumers can't tell if it's real or not. And then was it AI video, which came out around like 2 years after AI photos and stuff like that. And it was also looking like it's garbage. And now, if you research where it's at now, it's getting to that uncanny valley point. And the funny thing is, it only took 3 years to get to that point. And AI music is the same way. That only came out like a year ago. And then a year later, it's getting to a point where I'm starting to hear people upload, what is it? Like songs and stuff like for like lo-fi and just relaxing music and stuff like that, and they get views and money from it, and nobody says anything about that because, and I always try to explain this to somebody, I was like, everybody doesn't know. Like if you are an artist, you the artist would definitely know the difference between real art and artificial art. But if you're an average consumer or even a musician, you might not even know. If you're in a whole different skill field that isn't the art, you might not even be able to tell. It's the same way the other way around. See, with art, it's visually out there. You can see it. It's pretty much everywhere, right? But with music, it's not getting the same type of recognition as AI art is. You know how people fight for AI art and like go against it. AI music isn't this. It's not the same strength. Unfortunately, I don't see people always fighting against it. In fact, I see people almost kind of going with for it, and I'm just like, oh boy, this is about to get bad. And that's why I was like, it's only a matter of time. The way technology is developing, you start to see the patterns and you know where it's going to be heading. So I kind of came to realize that I know I have to either make my sound better, which I'm doing right now because now I got to make it sound better than the AI, or at least a little bit, more congruent. People can write well, but the AI can definitely write well as well. Um, the good news is if you're an experimental musician, such as I, um, it can't really learn my style of music because my style of music is always changing. I'm always developing new ways of doing things. If you listen to any of my music, it's never really the same as the last couple of songs. It's very textury and unworldly. So that would be my way of not panicking against AI at this moment. It's the same with like I always say some cartoon artists, like AI can't really figure out cartoon interpretation. It's a little bit more difficult than it seems because cartoon is actually more abstract than generic anime or like Renaissance art and all the the broke stuff like water painting and things. That can be very predictable because it has a pretty wide data bank or database of like those examples. But when it comes to like cartoons and unique styles of art, you would literally have to like go straight up to that person and steal it. And some of them actually do, and then they'll file a lawsuit against them and actually win. So that's why I always tell people learn the basics, but also keep your originality for yourself. And that way, you can actually go against AI. But remember, AI and what the biggest concern I have for AI is we're both appealing to the average consumer. And that's the scary part about the whole thing. Because as the cost of living is going up, technology costs of like programs uses is not going up with it. Example, you can spend $20 on AI, like monthly and just get thousands and thousands of pictures. But for a commissioned artist to get an actual good picture would require what, like $100 at least. Beyond that, I mean, I feel like if you're selling under 100, you're undercutting yourself. To be honest, I'm going to be honest because it's hard out here for everybody. So, and the reason why I'm saying this is because we're both trying to appeal to the average consumers, and you start to see between how much is a better deal than the other, and that's what makes it a little bit more scary. And that's the whole study I've been trying to figure it out. It was like, because the artist knows the difference between what's real and what's not, but the average consumer does not know the difference. Yeah, see, like you charge around $30. I feel like that's undercharging, especially what you do. I've seen your work. Like, I always tell people to push it up a little higher if you can, but I understand. I always tell people like have something cheap for the people who can afford cheap, and then have something expensive for the people who can afford expensive. Like have both sides really, and differentiate the quality of it. Like, of course, I have my 30 for 30 commissions, which is just small commissions I do. But for bigger and more complicated work, there's more, you can kind of like open the range of it. Oh, yeah. If you're just starting out, then yeah, that's reasonable. It's the same with photography, like start out low then work your way up high as you build up your resume and everything. And then also kind of like have a range for everybody in between. I'm just throwing out the way I work as well. But all right, enough talking about all of this stuff. I wasn't supposed to be doing this right now. But yeah, let me know what you guys' thoughts about all of this topic that we're talking about. I'm curious to see what everybody has to say, really, because I'm more looking for solutions. Like we know the problem. I'm just trying to figure out as a community what can we do as solutions. Like we need solutions because kicking the consumer's ass on not using these things doesn't really help. It's just almost like bullying in a way. But I feel like informing them the on the idea of what's real and what's not, and why you should actually, put more money into what's real, then I feel like that's a better way. Because it's like you can't. What is it? There's a saying I always say: you can't change anyone, but you can always give them advice to change. So yeah. Oh my god, I lost track where I'm at. Oh, okay, so I'm doing slow legatos now. And if you think about it, some AIs like voice changer AIs, it's not going to replace people. I don't think that's going to replace people, but it is fun to play around with. Like I was playing with my voice as being Master Chief for a second on a video game on Fortnite or something. And it was just funny because it's like I have the Master Chief skin character on there. So I just like, come on, I have to try it at least once just to see how it feels. So I was like Master Chief for a day. Nothing I would say like, hey, we can use this for professionalism. I was like, nah. Now, where AI can be good is like what you're hearing in my voice right now. Like right now, there's an AI that takes the sounds out the background so you don't hear all the noise in the background. So AI processing, stuff like that, this right here, that's good. That's a tool that's useful. So it's like a range of what we should use it for and what we shouldn't use it for. Oh wait, I messed up. I put the other one. Okay, so I need to go back to here. Oh no, this one's strong. Okay, cool. I like this. I like ADO's like woodwinds because it moves dynamically realistic. Like I can hear the clicks and everything, and it just sounds nice. Man, I like the detune. Like if it gets louder, it gets more detuned. Those are the small things I like about instruments. Is the I always tell people imperfection is perfection. All right. All right, so we got that out of the way. All right, so the next thing I need to do is go ahead and go into here. Hold on. Use this to stereo pan it. All this does is just kind of like show you like, all right, we're going to scan the audio and put him where he's supposed to be. It also changes the volume, so if it's too loud, it will kind of like reduce the volume for it. If you got good ears, you'll realize that this is louder than it should be. I didn't introduce the second clarinet, so I have to keep in mind of that. And I'm about to read everybody's comment in a second. Just making sure I save all of this. Hmm. Yeah, I agree. It's like AI tools can be useful. Just like what is it? Like hospital tools or like tools for AI on cancer research studies and stuff like that. Those are all very useful. I just don't understand why it's not really being fully focused onto just that. I find it funny that instead of healing and helping everyone, we decided to do it this way. It's like, we're just going to take other people's jobs. I was like, or just make the hard stuff easier so we can work on even more complex things. That was my idea for AI. Like when I was younger, I had that thought when, was it 2015? I was like, why not just make AI where it solves for the things that we usually think is more complicated, and then that way we can kind of focus on the even more complicated that we couldn't figure out. Like, hey, use AI for strong computing, so we can actually start to understand quantum physics a little bit easier. Because quantum physics is like way too high for our brains. Like the best way to explain quantum physics is we're trying to figure out paradoxes and how they work naturally. Like I kid you not, that's how it works. I do a little bit of study in quantum mechanics and then quantum like physics and stuff like that, and I came to realize there is a lot of entanglement type of processing into it, and it's very complicated because things are not supposed to work the way they do in quantum, like the quantum science world. And that's what makes it interesting. That's what makes it fun to learn, because they don't supposed to work that way. Oh wait, what if I just do this? I'm about to hurt myself by doing all this extra processing. I'm just gonna copy and paste it straight down. If you see my mouse kind of like jumping, I have no mouse pad really. It just keeps getting stuck on the platform. I'm gonna need that Switch to get a little cheaper so I can play my Mario Kart and my Kirby. I need my racing games. I need me racing games. And I'm starting to see that they're bringing, what was it? They brought Ridge Racer to the Switch. And I'm like, come on, man. Don't be like this. I love Ridge Racer. All right. Oh, let me hear that out. All right, so let me do that again. I might have this one read one more time just to kind of get the accurate reading. Yes, it sounds good. All right. Hmm. Something feels off. I'm trying to figure it out. Oh, silly me. I'm supposed to change these. That's why it's not doing it. I hope I did that with the other one. I don't think I did that with the other one. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and save that. I'm going to save that as Spelunky. So I need to go back to here. Go into here. Oh, I already did it. All right, cool. So now we have both of these already done. All right, this is a little too loud, so now I need to bring that down. I'm almost done. I got like 2 more instruments to go. I got to do the piccolo, and I also got to do the bassoons. It's not that bad. It sounds pretty good to me, especially with the strings. Like, I wish you can hear the full strings. In fact, I have a sample on my desktop. Give me 1 second to fetch it. I don't want everybody to see on my desktop like that, so I'm just gonna put the... Was it this one? Yeah. Don't worry about that. I'll fix that later. Now you can see this. This is pretty much what the strings are going to sound like in a general sense. Hold on. So that's pretty much mostly the cellos as an example of what that sounds like. And yeah, that was pretty much a crazy ass attempt of me playing Over the Garden Wall. And this is, I think this is the full strings. Yeah. It's just the L melody. And the whole point of this entire like process to begin with is so I can blend it because I make these things dry as possible. So I can modern music works well when it's dry with other instruments because it's like if you have orchestral sounds with like EDM synthesizers, like it doesn't work. Sometimes it does work, but there's like it just doesn't sound as good as it can be. Like example, I'm just gonna put some hip hop drums to the strings that I worked on, and you'll see what I mean. But yeah, you see the point I'm trying to get at is like dry sounds sound good as studio sounds. And if you're wondering why I did the process of making, what is it, every single, the entire thing to be have like, was it solo? Each of them are different and independent solo VSTs. And the reason why I did this is because regular string ensembles, you can't hear the strong vibrato. Like, hold on. Like if you listen to this, you can hear like the passionate vibrato in a solo sample. And it's like you don't hear that in like a string library because they all have to like accommodate like a certain amount of vibrato. So I was looking for a whole bunch of these things. So you can hear like the way the vibrato works on each one of them, and they're stronger than normal. Especially when you're playing solos, people have to this feeling of like really expressive vibrato. And if you're trying to make music like in, let's say, Hollywood type of sound, they don't use as much vibrato, and sometimes it gets lost because the ensemble is too big, and sometimes you want a small chamber ensemble, so you can also hear the individual players and vibrato. So I couldn't find a library that's good enough to do that, like all the things I want. So I just kind of made it. And so now because I made it, you can kind of hear the expressiveness like on each player. So you get a really like emotional feeling. And what's cool about this is because I recorded each and individual, I can make them into divisi. I can, just have two and make it even more like emotional. So I don't need a really huge ensemble. I can go straight to solo. I can do 3. I can add on. I can take this one out. So that's the cool part about doing it this process. It takes forever to do it this process because if I click onto one, then you see more. You see? And so there's layers and layers and like how to do all of this stuff. And then I had to do all of this. So yeah, the processing takes forever, but at the end of the day, this is a unique sound. Like I can't find a library that sounds like this. So yeah, I had to make it. And I'm doing the same thing with woodwinds right now. Even though woodwinds it's a little funky because there's not as many woodwinds that sound good, in my opinion, compared to like violins and brass. I can find a lot of violins and brass that sound believable. Woodwinds, they either feel stagnant, like they play the same dynamic. There's no like breath into to the instrument. Like if you listen to the clarinet, you can hear the player push their breath into it and actually actively get louder. Which creates the detuning sound that you hear. Also, these are very unique because they will stop naturally. If you think about the way a violin is played, they can keep on going forever because they have unbowing like playing style where they could just kind of like just bow the whole time. But for woodwinds, it's not natural for them to like continue breathing unless you're doing there's a method called circular breathing, and not every woodwind player can do that. Like it's not done with the flute. They can't do that because the instrument has to be in your mouth and the flute is outside of your mouth. So the flute is not meant to be played for a very long time unless you have really good lungs. And it will naturally go out. But you can hear the detune, the nuance, the keys being clicked and clacked. You can hear the expressiveness. It almost feels emotional. And if it doesn't feel emotional enough, you can definitely hear it if you put like some reverb on it. So yeah, that's the point of doing that. If you're wondering what strings I'm using, pretty much using samples from what is this library called? I can never pronounce this company's name. It says it right here. Sonic Cinema, blah 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 blah. But yeah, you got that company. They make two. For some reason, they stopped this intimate legato series that they got going on because they did was it the violins and they did the cello, but they didn't do the viola. They didn't do the basses, and it's sad because that's like they had something going on with this. What else is another one that they did? I'm using Bohemian violin. You heard this one many times. I use this in a lot of my music. That's that crazy ass solo violin that you hear in pretty much all of my music. And you got this one, which is just last. I couldn't find another library. Yeah, I couldn't find another library that was dry and vibrato-y and still keep the legato transitions under control, where I can kind of like control them manually. I was going to use Cine samples, but their solo library works very weird. Same with what was it, cinematic studio string solos. It's like it sounds good, but their library works very strange. I might go back and I think Orchestral Tools has solo, like I think a solo violin and a solo cello. I don't think I like their solo first strings. I have to go back and see if I change my mind on it. But and then I got one more other library that I was using, and that was this one right here. Or wait, no, it's Audio Imperia solos, and they have solo strings that sound pretty good to my opinion. I have it on the second violins. But yeah, I take a whole bunch of other stuff and match it with each other. And if you're wondering if they sound good with each other, they start off not, because you have to like what is it? You have to kind of like change the latency for each one of them to match with each other, because they're all different. Like they're all had a different concept for its use case. So I had to fix it and force it to be for something else. I had to get out the resonance. Like that's what this is. Like it takes out certain resonances. And then what I did was I found another track with a reference of a violin, used that, and then matched it with this. So I pretty much copied the EQ of another violin to another violin. I did that with all the violins, so they all sound consistent. And that's pretty much the gist of it. If you wonder what these things are right here, this just keeps the dynamic under control so they don't get too loud or too quiet. And this is stereo panning. It's just a very smart stereo panning right here. I use this to kind of create a more realistic room sound. That way it sounded like they were actually recorded in a studio. So I just introduced that into it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And you just do that with violins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had 7. I did that with 7 violins. I did that with 5 violas, 6 cellos, and 3 basses. And then you start combining them into like patches where you can kind of separate them like this. And what that looks like is like this. So these are my presets that I work really hard on. So I also have it where it takes up less room to do like solo libraries of the instrument, but I also have them combined like this. And that takes a long time. I think that took me an entire week straight looking at the computer. So imagine just like processing string sounds for like almost 20 hours per day for a week. You barely get any sleep. I'm just so glad I finished it. And once I finish the woodwinds, I should be finished because I already did the brass. And all I have to do is make a preset. Was it like a template with all the instruments? And then all I have to do is just write and not think. That was the whole point of this, is to get a great sound every time. Write, no thinking. Like everything is mixed and mastered. That's the whole point. And it takes a long time to get all of this together. But it's worth it. Trust me, it's worth it. Like that one Kirby song that you heard that I did, was it the Phantom one? Psycho Phantom. That was showing just a little bit of what my studio orchestra can do. it wasn't showing like the full amount of what it actually can do. So right now I'm still developing it. And it sounded great. I'm pretty sure a lot of people liked it. So you can only imagine how good it's going to sound now. I also want to put like disco falls and stuff in this. So I might come back and try to figure that out and to make disco falls. All right, let me focus because I'm getting a little hungry now. And I just got done paying bills, so I definitely have to cook tonight. Let's see. Oh, snap. Give me 1 second. Trying to remember where I left off. I think, yeah, I finished the clarinets, I think. So now I'm on to the bassoons. My favorite woodwinds is, I would say, I love lower instrument sounds like clarinets. I think my favorite woodwind is the clarinet, and my favorite string is a cello. I think my favorite brass is the euphonium or the French horn, one of them, or both. Well, Kirby music has a lot of movement. So for me to do Kirby music all the time, I definitely want to have a library that can shift in a way. Oh my God, I did it again. I definitely got to change that button. It happens when I click one, apparently. So I do know that the button is like connected to one. So I'm guessing two brings me back. Let me test that real quick. So yeah, two brings me back. I have to reroute those. This is fast legato. Okay. So now I'm going to go to strong legato. I mean, strong vibrato. These are different vibratos. So this one's long and this one's long. I should keep that in mind when I make this. Because this one, this one seems kind of short. All right, so we're going to keep it right here and on the E. That's going to be the same. I'm going to go into here. I'm going to try to do this. I'm just trying to speed run through this. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, and I also have different tunings. I forgot I could put that in there, but for the sake of making it sound clean, I won't do it. I won't make my music sound dirty. All right, so the way this works is you have to click the lowest note, find out that it's 35 right here, put 35, click the highest note. It's just telling the computer like the range to cycle through, so I can do round robin. You got those different variations. Oop, give me 1 second. Let's go some light down. For the sake of this, I might just put it on 5. Only because I want to keep the sound without making it sound whiny, because I know this sounds a little bit different from the other instruments. In fact, I even go as far as going back and doing this. Still got a round robin, but now it kind of keeps its naturalness. Because you're not going to do that all the time with a bassoon. It's very rare. So I think I should keep that low. I gotta locate the bassoon again. This time we're gonna do lyrical, and we're gonna do soft. And we're also gonna bring the legato auto straight down so we get that straight transition. Very peaceful. All right, then we're gonna do the short notes. So bassoon again. Under general arts, it's already on it. And then we're gonna go general arts again. I'm gonna push that to marcato. I'll go back and put the trills later because trills on all of these things are different for some reason, and I don't like that. I don't know why ADO did not fix that for some reason. I gotta like re-download all of this for SoundPaint. The only reason why I don't like using SoundPaint instead of doing it this way is because I get to use tools like this where I can kind of like do DVZ, and I've been telling SoundPaint, I've been telling Trolls Folman to please put DVZ like separation into the program. I was like, please do it, and he just never did. He did everything else I told him except for that. But until they do that, I'm not transitioning right now because this is more realistic in my opinion to do it this way. All right, there we go. I don't need round robins for this because slow legato, you won't even hear it. Oh, almost forgot. I got to go into here and go to bassoon. All right, so now we got all that out the way. We're just gonna copy and paste and then change a little bit of, you know, stuff that's on there. I usually just stream my process of making the sounds instead of me writing music because I want people to be more surprised when they hear it. I'll stream more originals instead of like Kirby music. Like if I'm making remakes or something, I want people to be more surprised on what I'm doing. So you will never see me like stream me making Kirby music or rearrangements of something. Also, people's input might kind of deter my creative process. Like if somebody's telling me that it should be like this and it should be like that, you see how that can go wrong. So that's why I don't do that. If you're wondering. It's like I know how the original sound. I just don't want it to fully sound like the original. And I know some people is biased to the original that maybe the original sounded better than my remake, and that's perfectly fine. I even agree upon that. That's because I'm not in competition to making it sound, you know, like the original. I do get comments like that from time to time, so I do read people's comments. I can't read everyone's comment because it's a lot, but I do read everybody's comments every now and then. Oop, hold on, messed up. I'm sure that's the base of all the basic instruments. Because the woodwind, I mean, flute, was it piccolo and English horn? Those are not common instruments. Those are specialty instruments. But if you listen to all my music, you know I love that piccolo flute. So I'm going to definitely do that real quick. I also got to make sure the loudness is good. Even though this is definitely not supposed to be for a bassoon. So I'll just slow it down. You see, it doesn't even sound technically right. It's because the bassoon is not supposed to be played like that. Oh, it's because I know what happened. There's another thing I have to fix later on. I just don't feel like doing it. Where is it? Did it not switch off the legato? Usually it switches off legatos when it does that. No, something is not where it's supposed to be, and that's what's happening. See, this is why I test these things out. All right, so I see what I did wrong. This is supposed to be B2, B6. And I must have did the same problem if I copied and pasted that same thing. Nope. So it's just that. All right, there we go. Musical engineering. Engineering means solving problems. It doesn't sound as realistic as it should be. Only because, one, I don't hear the key switches that it's supposed to be heard for some reason. I might have to figure something out for that. And two, I think the processing, hold on. I might have to back up on something. There's something that's not happening that should be happening. It might be this. Yep. Okay, that's what's happening. It's too much pushing down. It wasn't sounding natural. I'm sorry. It's fine. That's fine. All right. Oh, it's because of that other problem I realized. Also, the strings are supposed to be louder because they're more forward to the stage, if you think about it. Even though I can always just turn it down by just doing it this way. Oh, it's already up. That's why it's louder than it should be. And for the fun of it, I'm going to do this. Yeah. Just for the fun of it. I just keep it like that. This is to kind of keep it going. And I gotta make sure it plays slow and fast, so I have to do this 2 more times. All right, that's all the information I need to know. And we're gonna push it all the way to presto. Even though that's not realistic to be played, but it sounds really cool and synthetic. Like, let me give you an example. Like, trying to think of an instrument that we use real quick. Something techno-y. You know what? We're just gonna use Nexus. Bring out the Nexus. And we're gonna go to plugs. Sometimes he shows the demos and some of them don't. I don't know why. Trying to look for a trance type of thing. Hold on. Show me the trance. Not the EDM, the trance. I need the trance. Oh boy. This auto saving sucks all the time. All right, here we go. Yeah, this is very trance-like, but that's not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for something more soft. I'm gonna turn this down as well. All right, ooh, this could do. Yeah. So you can kind of get a feel for that. Let me see if I can push it even more. And that's pretty much hybrid music in a nutshell. If you were wondering, like, what hybrid was it neoclassical sound like? This is pretty much neoclassical. Like, it uses classical elements and then synthesized elements, and you kind of fuse them both together to create this like cinematic sound. But yeah, one more instrument and I'll be done. I was gonna use was it Serum 2, but I gotta play around with that personally. I don't know much about Serum 2. I mean, I know it's like a straight up game changer, especially if since was it dubstep just kind of came back with bro step. So I'm curious on how that's gonna go down. I mean, it was expected because I saw DMB come back, so I was just like, oh yeah, bro step is around the corner. All that comes back circle. Every music genre gets its second win somehow, especially if it's EDM. So what is it? So drum and bass came back, and now bro step is coming back. So the next one on the list will probably be more like what is it, like future bass, kawaii, what is it? I can't remember. Yeah, it was like future bass, kawaii bass, stuff like that. You know, all the little sparkly, colorful types song sounds, and trance. I think trance is already back, but yeah, the kawaii future bass stuff is gonna come back like probably in 5 more years. Guaranteed. It's a cycle. Every like 10 to 20 years, the genres will kind of like repeat their second wave. And I think that's like based off of design actually, because of as we were young, as we're young, it came out. Like the genre came out and we got into the genre and we get tired of it. Then 10 years later, we're old and we start becoming nostalgic. And so, like a new generation is coming in and they kind of like want to discover some of like the old music. And then we are nostalgic to the old music. So the music industry will kind of just bring it back. And now you have two audiences, the new and the old. So yeah, it's pretty much like a same thing going on with like video games, movies, all the stuff that you see right today. Like, look, they're making uh movies of games that happened like in the early 2000s or so. Like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna make a Spyro movie eventually. But it's a pattern. This is all pattern based off of nostalgia and newcomers who is discovering to want to know the things that they have missed out on. It's the same way how like what is it? Um, we started hearing like 80s styled music back in the 2010s, and it's because that was making its other, it was making its like second wave coming in. So we started hearing like fusion of 80s music and like later music. And then the same thing was going on with like 70s style music or 90s style music. Like you started to hear it come back and it was making its second wind before it kind of like fades out. And then we're going to start being introduced to new genres of music that we didn't think we could do. And you can kind of see it come in with all this AI technology as well. So all of this is planned, it's pattern based. The companies know what they're doing, the industry knows what they're doing. So it's just a matter of, hey, can I figure it out so I can be up hand competition with it? It's like I told my friend Wolf Drone that dubstep will be coming back, and he specializes on dubstep personally. And he was not getting he when he started learning how to do dubstep, it was washed out by that time. And so, he was inspired. He's like, I want to be a dubstep artist. I want to be a dubstep artist. And he went down the path for it. And he finally figured it out. By the time he figured it out, the fad was gone. And so I told him that I see a pattern. There's a pattern going on. And it's like every 10 to 20 years, these genres ends up coming back on its second wave, because he was about to just give up. And I was like, do not give up. I was like, it's about to come back. Trust me. So like 5 years later, Bro Step is trying to like come back from this stuff. Um, we discovered what was it? He was into dubstep. He didn't start working on it until 2015, but he was inspired by it back in like when we were in high school around like 2012 or so. So he got into it, learned it. It was out of fad. He thought it was just kind of like a washed out media. And the way fads work is, as soon as you give up on it, that's when it comes back. It's almost like trying to look for your car keys. It's like as soon as you stop looking for your car keys is when you find your car keys. Like you even came up with the alternative plan, like, hey, I'm just gonna take an Uber then. And then you realize your car keys is like right there. I believe that's the true law of manifestation, in my opinion. Like it's almost like what goes up must come down, must go back up. So, you know, if you let it go, it'll eventually come back to you. Law of the universe type stuff. And that's, you know, these patterns, like I always tell people, we do have a superpower. The superpower is to pick up patterns. That's literally what our brain is made to do. Our brain had no other purpose but to learn patterns. Like it's not supposed to do anything else crazy. Just learn patterns. That's it. And you start to realize everything in the universe has a pattern structure to it. Even if it's temporary, it does have a pattern structure. And you will learn it. And eventually the pattern structure will change. And then you have to adapt to that change. And that's pretty much the grand image on how the brain reacts to the universe. Okay, now I'm getting too philosophical. I need to finish this. I'm sorry. Because I could keep on ranting about like talking about subjects like this all day. It's like my TED. It's like my little TED thing. Like, welcome to my TEDcast and shit. My podcast. You know, I should just do a podcast just talking about stuff like this. Let me know if I should do it like a podcast. Because it's like I do love talking about deep subjects, about like the system of things. Like not politically, because well, political systems are in a bigger contrast of smaller and bigger systems as a human species, but I do like talking about beyond that, the things that are hard to comprehend. I'm more interested in the things I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna do the piccolo. This is action legato, which is fast legato. So we're gonna do strong one. Yep. All right, I'm almost done, guys. I think, yeah, this definitely needs a lot of processing, especially in the high ends, because I'm pretty sure that just made somebody's ears bleed. Also, I had to definitely turn that down. That's the only problem with the piccolos. They sound great, but they're so high pitched, especially if it's not controlled. And I have to control the resonance. I do remember. All right. I just need this because it's like the way flutes work is they're okay at the bottom. And then when they get to the top, it's like unbearable. I talked to another company about that. So sometimes you just have to like cut that high end a little bit. That should work. And that's the point of this little program right here. I'll push this up. Is to keep the dynamics dynamic. Or, you know, like almost kind of like squashed in a way, but without cutting the dynamics, like compression. Compression smashes dynamics. This is just turning down the volume really fast to the point where it's not really compressing. It's kind of compressing, but it's not. It is still keeping like the details of the dynamics. Dynamics is a very confusing study. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm gonna have my soft flute. Because this is so strong, I'm gonna do this instead. All right. The good news is I only have to do this one time, so I don't really have to do this right here. So I can bypass this really. So 6 and 7. No, 5 and 7. Okay. You got to remember the numbers. There's a lot of math involved when it comes to stuff like this. It's like memory and math, lots of memory math. So I said 5 and 7. There we go. And that should complete the process. I just have to do one more thing. Oh boy, we're done with this. Almost forgot. I was wondering, I was like, I'm forgetting something. Even though I'm not fully done with the woodwinds, because I still gotta like, these key switches at the bottom is gonna become hazardous if I don't like make something that cuts off the notes down, straight down, which I do know how to do that. It's a little tedious, but I'm gonna do that later, maybe tonight. I'm probably not gonna live stream that one. I'm just also live streaming and test how it kind of works. Let's see. So that's 72. Because I will be playing games eventually. I'm just not there yet. I'm trying to catch up on money. All right, there we go. It's got to be that crazy. All right, there we go. Piccolo. Appreciate everybody sticking with me till the end of this entire thing. And now we're just going to hear this one more time. All right, I'm done for now. Until tonight. I gotta stretch. But all right, guys, appreciate for whoever was watching or listening or who cared or whatnot. Now I go eat. I'm hungry. All right, guys. See y'all later.